Couple of things. One, got a couple coaching changes. One that came down, I think, Wednesday. Stepp, here's the full story. Matt Stepp called me on Wednesday afternoon and said, hey, I am hearing from a lot of very reliable sources that Plano is going to come open. That Plano High is about to make a change to the head coaching position. That Jadon McCullough is going to be out at Plano High. And he said, but I have not heard from Plano ISD. I have not heard it from the principal source. I haven't heard from Jadon McCullough. I haven't heard from the athletic director. I haven't heard from those people. What should I do? And we talked it out, and he ended up holding the story until we got that confirmation, because better to just not step on people's toes. All right, that's a sensitive subject. Let's just not step on people's toes. And so it ended up being true that Plano High is going to make a change. Plano High is going to have a new coach for the first time in, let's see, he has been the head coach. Jadon McCullough has been the head coach there for 12 years. And he served as Plano's head coach and athletic director for the last 12 years. Jadon McCullough will accept a new position within the school district. Plano High, of course, one of the most decorated programs and winningest programs in the state of Texas. They have not won a playoff game in the last 10 years, which is kind of a stunning thing to think about. But Plano High is going to have a new head coach. Jadon McCullough will be, they're, of course, 7-time state champions. McCullough had a pretty decent record, 70-59, when you consider that 12 of those games are against Allen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if you kind of factor out Allen, things have been things have been okay there. But Plano High is going to be making a change there. Of course, you remember that Plano High made a change or Plano West made a change last offseason. And so there are changes afoot at Plano ISD as Jadon McCullough is out at Plano. There will be a new head coach of the Plano Wildcats coming up here. I expect that'll be an interesting list of candidates, because it's obviously a high-profile job.
Yeah, and they're not with Allen anymore, which makes it even more
Yeah, for sure. In
Yeah.
the short term, it's like for the next 2 years, you kind of duck out of the Allen district. But that said, the way that Plano ISD is structured provides a number of big-time challenges. I know coaches who have gone to Plano ISD and have said, man, this is just so different from other places. And so it takes there's a reason that they have made a lot of internal hires. There's a reason that they've hired Plano guys, because Plano guys understand the system there. I wonder what they're going to do there. So Plano High will be very different going into 2020. Also different, this is coming down just today. In fact, just about an hour ago. Wiley will have a new head coach. Bill Howard, the longtime coach at Wiley, is retiring. And their defensive coordinator, Jimmy Carter, not the president. Jimmy Carter, their defensive
fact,
coordinator.
You know he's our longest living president? Found that out last night. He made it to 95 or 96.
Like longest living president ever?
Supposedly.
Yeah,
From
I bet that's true.
the
I don't think
fact
there's
that I
any
read.
president who's made it past, because
Random.
HW made it to his early 90s.
90s, yeah.
He
So
made, I
I
want to
think-
say like 91, 92.
I think he was 92.
Yeah, something like that. Anyway, yes.
Yeah, there you go. There is
Not
your
that Jimmy Carter.
astronomical Fun fact.
Not
of the
that
day.
Jimmy Carter. The new head coach at Wiley High is going to be Jimmy Carter, the defensive coordinator, as a longtime Wiley High coach. Bill Howard is going to retire. His career record was 90-78, made the playoffs 10 times. Of course, he led Wiley to the state championship in 2008, where they lost to Katy 17-3. This is a guy who has been a mainstay here in the DFW Metroplex, and so it is going to be very, very different there. He was the school's longest tenured head coach. And this is, as far as the new coach Jimmy Carter, this is going to be very interesting. Basically, Wiley High's always been a defensive-minded program. That's how they've always kind of done their business, and so it's not really a surprise that they would promote their defensive coordinator as a new head coach. So the new head coach at Wiley High is going to be Jimmy Carter, the defensive coordinator, going to be promoted. Finally, there was news earlier this week out of Austin having to do with DFW and a prominent DFW squad. Let's talk a little bit about Duncanville, of course, the two-time state runner-up in 6A Division I. They have been hit with a little bit of punishment from the UIL. The UIL has suspended Coach Reginald Samples for one game, the first game of the 2020 season, and of course, Reginald Samples, the 2019 National Coach of the Year by USA Today. He was suspended for the first game after when they found the football program violated the UIL rule regarding employment of coaches. So, let me lay out what the UIL rule is. The UIL rule is that if you are going to coach and be on the coaching staff of a team, you have to be, and you're going to be helping out in any sort of material way.
Right. On field, hands-on.
Correct.
Right.
You have to be a full-time employee of the district. Okay? We can certainly talk about why that is. A lot of it is basically the UIL wants to make sure this doesn't become AAU basketball,
Right.
where there's street agents coming in and things like that. That's a big thing. Big
Handlers,
reason why.
things like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They want to make sure that's not the case. As a result, from what went, this was something that Mount Vernon ran into this year. If you remember, Art Briles had two players suspended. There were some reports that they had that they were going to have to forfeit some games because of. In fact, they did have to forfeit some games.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah,
forfeit.
they
They had forfeit some games because they had a non-full-time employee,
I believe Links Hawthorne.
Links
Right.
Hawthorne,
Yeah.
former Baylor great and former Refurio great, who was helping out with the staff, who was not a full-time employee of Mount Vernon ISD.
Right.
This is the same situation that's happened at Duncanville, where they have had a player or a coach who was not a full-time employee of the district. Now, Reginald Samples has gave a quote to the Dallas Morning News on Wednesday. Here's his quote: "I've been coaching a long time, and this is the first violation I've had in 30 years, and I can't make an excuse. I made a mistake, I owned up to it, and I have to move forward. He's just a volunteer, and he ended up giving instructions, and that you can't do." Well,
Respect.
there you go.
Yeah.
He said that's we broke the rules. Yes, that's. It sounds like I don't know what the situation is, and I don't know what's the full situation, but it sounds like this was something that Reginald Samples probably just let slip by.
Yeah.
I don't think this didn't seem malicious.
No.
Based on that, based on
Right.
those quotes.
He's not appealing. They're not.
Right.
There's nothing else going on. He's just okay.
There is
Cool.
another part of this, which is that Duncanville High School the Duncanville football program is going to be on 1 year probation. Now, this is not like NCAA probation.
Right.
Okay? This is almost, I hate to make this comparison, but it's almost a lot more like criminal probation in the way that it works, which is that you're on notice.
Right.
Is what it is. It's
Right.
like you need to keep your nose clean.
Right.
You're
good to live your life.
Yes.
Watch yourself.
Yeah.
Yes,
It's
if
like a
there's-
slap on the wrist.
If there's
Right.
if there's one more violation during this probation period, then we're dropping the hammer.
Right.
That's what this is. This is a warning shot across the bow for Duncanville. They're still eligible for the playoffs. They're still eligible for everything. All it is the UIL saying, we're keeping an eye on you. Keep your nose clean.
Yeah.
That's what that means. And so, as a result, that's what's come down at Duncanville, as Reginald Samples will be suspended one game for a UIL violation, and Duncanville is on 1 year probation for a year. Again, not a whole lot that goes into, nothing active that goes into the 1 year probation. And honestly, Reginald Samples, I don't know who they open with. I don't have their schedule in front of me, but they have plenty of. Although now they're losing assistants left and right.
Oh, so sure. Yeah, they're just getting hired.
They will have. They will probably be fine in their
Right.
opener without Reginald Samples. Not to say that he's not important, but having
They'll make it through a game.
having a full off season to prepare for it, they should be fine. But it is noteworthy that they have been by the state executive board. They have been state executive committee rather. They have been found to have violated a UIL program or a UIL rule. That is. So there you go.